Welcome back to my channel, and as usual, I'm back with 4 stories. How are you doing? I hope you are having an amazing day. Now, if you are new to my channel, I'm Vera, but you can call me V, and I share stories that I receive from my subscribers and followers. Stories in need of your advice and opinions. And if this is something you love, subscribe and like this video. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Shout out to Priscilla Afrakuma AGA 7867 for being the first person to comment on my last video. Thank you so much for the support, babe. I love you. And now, Abi, you know that, relax and let's get right into it. Story number 1. I dated this guy for 9 months and took care of him like my child since his parents had passed away. I felt sympathy in addition to love, and I loved him with everything in me. I gave him money regularly and provided for his basic needs. I even paid off the rent debt for the room he was staying in before I met him. Then I caught him in bed with his ex, and he was unapologetic about it. When I tried to understand why he would betray me like this, he claimed that there was a time I told him he had changed because I mentioned I didn't have money. He said that statement changed his perception of me. He is now a newly posted nurse and is back in a relationship with his ex. I found out I was pregnant just a week after he texted me to break up. He told me his girlfriend is also pregnant and that I should have an abortion. I don't know whether to seek revenge or not. This guy has really taken me for a fool, and I invested so much into him. He claims he's not at peace because if I see him flirting, I say something, but the ex wouldn't even complain if she saw him with another woman. What? He chose her over me and offered no apologies, nothing. I felt used, broken and hurt. I helped him through all his posting processes, fed him, bought him clothes and shoes, and now this is what I get. Even after I saw them together, he didn't reach out. His girlfriend is 2 months pregnant, and he told me that since I'm also pregnant, we should both have abortions because he can't afford to support 2 children, especially now that he has just been posted. I have had an abortion, but she hasn't, and they are having a baby. I'm so broken, I don't know what to do. I need advice. It has been 3 months and the pain is still very fresh. Oh babe, I'm so sorry. I can't imagine what you are going through right now. Now babe, I know this is going to be difficult, but focus on yourself. This is the time to prioritize your well-being, and it is time to make choices that is best for you and you alone. This guy isn't worth your energy or your tears, trust me. And investing your time into hating someone or seeking revenge on someone like this is only going to prolong your pain. Focus on what you want and need in life right now. Rather than on revenge or anger, it doesn't deserve any more of your energy. You didn't deserve any of this. And babe, remember that you are worthy of love and respect. What he did doesn't define you. Finally, remember that healing takes time. I know you are hurting right now, but you are going to heal. It is okay to feel sad and lost right now, but with time and self-care, things are going to get better. Stay strong and focus on your own journey. You deserve happiness and peace, and you are going to find it. I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 1 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Let's move on to story number 2. Sis V. I was staying with a guy for 4 years without marriage, and we had 1 son together. This guy always has a problem with every job he does. He complains a lot and then sits at home while I give him money for food every day because it's not working. Because of the hardship we are going through, he's always angry and will beat me during arguments. I managed to escape from him for 6 months without him locating me anywhere in Accra. However, recently, he got in my contact and begged for a comeback because of our child. He seems to be doing well now and has money, so he caters for us. I've started this new job that gives me at least 200 cedis every day. Because of that, this guy has stopped giving us money and is always demanding that I send him at least 100 cedis every day for his upkeep. If I don't give him the money, he rains insults on me and tells me to return every penny he has given me. Sister, I really want to escape from him again, because he's always threatening me with acid if I decide to leave him. What? I was planning on doing susu and giving him 5,000 cedis so he can start something on his own and leave me alone. Please help me. I know I've been foolish for taking him back, but I really thought he had changed his attitude, not knowing it was all a show. Please help me. Babe, people like him don't change. They never do. What he's threatening to do to you is serious and you feel he can really do it. You need to report him. Take his threat seriously. Don't wait until something bad happens. Act now. Babe, you have to prioritize your well-being and that of your child right now. Forget about him. Giving him money in hopes that he will change is not the solution. It's not going to change. Talk to someone you trust about what you are going through. It can be a friend or a family member. You don't have to deal with this alone. If you have someone supporting you, he's going to back off. If possible, if you feel he's very dangerous, when you go to the police, report him and get a restraining order against him. The police are going to warn him to stay away from you. If he comes close to you again, he's going to be in trouble. Now, finally, babe, I want you to focus on your job and making your own life better. Save your money for yourself and look for ways to improve on your own. You deserve to have a life free of fear and abuse. And babe, remember that you are not a fool for going back to him. Anyone would want to believe that someone they love can change. You just thought giving him another chance will make things better. Unfortunately, it didn't. So don't beat yourself up about it. Babe, just prioritize your safety. Seek support from a loved one. And focus on building a better life for you and your child. You've got this, and I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for this sender, write story number 2. And leave your advice and opinion. She's going to be in the comment section reading them. And now let's move on to story number 3. I was in level 300, living alone in a 2-bedroom apartment, minding my own business. Life was simple. I went to lectures, hung out with friends, and focused on finishing school. But everything changed the day I saw them, Jemima and Nancy, 2 stunning girls who seemed to be attached at the hip. They were best friends, always together, and 10 heads whenever they went. Little did I know getting involved with them would turn my life into a chaotic mess. I will never forget the first time I saw Jemima and Nancy. They were walking across campus, laughing and talking like they didn't have a care in the world. Jemima was the thicker one, with curves in all the right places, and a smile that could light up a room. Nancy was slimmer, more reserved, but equally beautiful. I was instantly drawn to Jemima, but when I asked around, I found out she was already dating someone. Nancy, on the other hand, was single, so I decided to shoot my shot with her. It took some time, but I eventually won Nancy over. We started dating and things were great. She was sweet, funny, and we got along really well. But there was one thing I couldn't ignore, a closeness to Jemima. They were inseparable. They had been best friends since senior high school, and their bond was unshakable. At first, I didn't mind. I figured it was just a close friendship. But looking back, I should have seen the red flags. A few months into our relationship, Nancy lost her hostel room. She asked if she could move in with me, and I agreed. I lived alone, so it made sense. Things were going well until Jemima broke up with her boyfriend. Nancy told me Jemima was a wreck and asked if she could stay with us for a while. I didn't want to say no, so I agreed. Big mistake. Jemima moved in, and that is when everything started to spiral out of control. Remember how I said I was initially attracted to Jemima? Well, those feelings came rushing back the moment she walked through my door. She was stunning, confident, and had this magnetic energy that was hard to resist. And to make things worse, she started flirting with me, right in front of Nancy. At first, I thought I was imagining it, but no, Jemima was bold. She'd make suggestive comments, touch my arm when she laughed, and give me these looks that made it clear she was interested. Nancy didn't seem to notice, or maybe she just didn't care. I tried to ignore it, but it was getting harder and harder to resist. One night, I was in bed with Nancy when I felt a hand on my chest. I opened my eyes and it was Jemima, completely naked. Before I could say anything, she bent down and kissed me. I was in shock. I pointed to Nancy, who was sleeping right beside me, but Jemima just whispered, "Don't worry," and climbed on top of me. Hey, what happened next was like something out of a dream, or maybe a nightmare. Jemima tapped Nancy, and when she woke up, she didn't seem surprised. In fact, she smiled, took off her clothes, and joined in. The 3 of us had sex that night, and I didn't know how to feel about it. It was exciting, sure, but also confusing. Was this normal? Was I still in a relationship with Nancy? I had no idea. The next morning, I tried to talk to Nancy about what happened, but she brushed it off. It is fine, she said. Don't overthink it. I wanted to believe her, but things only got stranger from there. A few days later, I came home from lectures to find Jemima and Nancy completely naked in the living room having sex. What is going on? I was stunned. I didn't know what to do, so I just greeted them and walked into my room. They didn't even stop. They just smiled at me and kept going. From that point on, it was like I was living in some kind of alternate reality. Jemima and Nancy were all over each other, and they didn't care who saw. They would start touching each other while we were watching TV, and when I tried to join in, they would push me away. Sorry. It was like I was no longer part of the equation. By this point, Jemima and Nancy had been living with me for almost 4 months. They were not paying rent or contributing to bills. I was the one buying the groceries, and when they cooked, they would leave a plate for me like I was some kind of afterthought. I felt like a stranger in my own home. I couldn't take it anymore. I told them they had to leave. They tried to seduce me into letting them stay, but I stood my ground. A few days later, they packed their things and moved out. Finally, I had my peace of mind back. Fast forward to now, I recently found out that Jemima is dating a guy in level 400, and Nancy has moved in with them. I can't help but laugh when I see him on campus. This man smiles like he's on top of the world. It is clear he has started sleeping with the two of them, and he has no idea what is coming. I have been there, and I know how this story ends. Hey! I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. I really have no opinions. I really don't know what to say about this story. And obviously, it's not asking for advice. So if you have any opinions about this story, you know that I'll leave them down below. And now let's move on to story number 3. But before we do that, if you don't like this video yet, please do. It is very important. And now, story number 3. No, story number 4. Story number 4. Yeah. Hi V. I'm a tertiary student. I met this guy who told me he had never been in a relationship but was living with his younger sister around campus, only to later realize he was actually in a serious relationship with a so-called sister. Let's call him Alfred, and the supposed sister Betty. Alfred paid Betty's school fees, fed her, and they traveled together. In fact, they did everything together because they were siblings and lived together. It all started when I was relocating to a different hostel. I met Alfred, and he insisted on taking a car to help convey my belongings to my new place. Together, we moved my stuff. I appreciated it though. He also took the opportunity to tell me he was going to run for the SRC president that semester and needed my support. Later, he called me once in a while to check up on me and started showing interest in me. I tried to ignore it until he kept requesting to visit my new place. The day he finally came over, he stayed the night and we ended up sleeping together. He had a big thing, so I immediately thought to myself that I wouldn't accept him because he might leave me with a bigger hole, even though it felt nice. I began to like him. This guy spent 2 days at my place, and when he returned to his hostel, he came over often to eat. And well, fast forward, as the time for campaigning for Alfred's presidential position approached, and I swear it wasn't easy. I would walk through bushes, rain, sun, power outages, mornings and evenings with him, to classrooms and hostels to help with the campaigning. During this time, I can boldly say I went all out for him, even though I noticed some things were off about him after a month. Alfred had a girl, whom we will call Dinah, with whom he was flirting. When I asked, he said they were just friends. I didn't feel good about that though. Honestly, Alfred was good, and the possibility that he would win was high. Most students liked him for his confidence, hard work, intelligence, and many other qualities. He participated in all church activities, prayers, evangelism, fasting, and so on. This made it hard to point out his girlfriends. He acted so saintly. Even I didn't let anyone know we had something going on because when we went to meetings with the campaign team, he would jokingly call every girl, including me, either a sister or a crush. I also noticed that apart from flirting with Dinah, He was not caring, not paying attention to me, and certainly not tipping me. He would call to discuss only hostile campaigning at this point. But I understood him because he was too focused on winning. So his attention and money were primarily directed towards that. I felt bad that I was just wasting my time. So I decided to back off and stop the campaign as well. I didn't want him to lose either, even though I had accepted that he was not serious about me. He would call me whenever the other members of the campaign team were not showing up for door-to-door campaigning, and I was always available. He would call me whenever he needed food, and I would take it to his office whenever he requested. At a certain point, I stopped doing all that, and he would call, almost crying, that I was abandoning him in this battle alone, as if I would be the one to enjoy the benefits when he won. Fast forward, he won by God's grace, and this boy never changed. He really had money as a student. He once went home to work for just 2 weeks and made more than 5,000 cedis. He bought an expensive phone and gave me 100 cedis when he returned to campus after that. This was 6 months into the relationship. If I asked him to buy me even a drink, he would joke about it and not buy it. Meanwhile, I didn't have money. I managed what little I got from my parents. I cooked for him more than 20 times and never asked him for money. He would talk about and show me the expensive shirts, shoes, and other items he bought or had. We are now 10 months into the relationship, and he gave me 100 cedis again recently. He asked me for a gift on his birthday, but I intentionally didn't give him anything and asked him why he didn't gift me during mine. He said he was campaigning and didn't have money. I haven't taken him seriously, but I thought he would change and at least be kind in return. Recently, I told him I didn't want to have anything to do with him anymore, and he kept saying he was sorry and that he was new to this relationship thing, so I should take it easy on him. He didn't mean to hurt me, and he said a lot more. I'm disappointed in him. I looked through his phone one night to see his chats and found messages where he was telling Betty how he wants to marry her by next year. The chats showed that they had really been dating for a long time and discussed things as a couple. The girl is actually his girlfriend, not his sister. I also saw another chat from a lady he once told me came from their hometown, so she was more or less like a sister. For that one, I feel maybe it is a girl forcing herself, so I'm not going to talk about it. Alfred has fooled me all this while. My problem is, why would he force me to be with him when he has all these girls and he takes good care of Betty? He always talks to Betty freely when I'm around, and I believed she was a sister. I sometimes meet Betty on campus, greet her and pass by. Alfred goes to Betty every night to eat and doesn't care if I've eaten or not. He comes to me afterwards and sleeps over almost every day after our 9th month and will tie my hands behind my back, sleeping with me forcefully when I insisted on not allowing him. Last time, when I tried to force him off me, I wish I could have recorded him. He accused me of being sent or possessed. Now, I want to either leak his intimate video with me to disgrace him and force him to resign as president, or I will threaten him with the audio from our intimate moments and demand money, or perhaps fake a pregnancy to collect money from him. Or should I just steal the huge sums of money he brings to my room? He even added my name to the list of students that the school will help pay their fees. But he hasn't even asked me if I bought my forms to do my top-up or not. Now, it seems like he doesn't want to have anything to do with me again. Maybe because he has promised to be faithful to Betty, or because he doesn't want to fornicate. Alfred is a huge walking red carpet, not even a flag. This man has been playing games with you and stringing you along. First, babe, I want you to stop putting your energy into someone who doesn't show you the same care. It is clear Alfred isn't investing in you the way you are investing in him. You are supplying him emotional support, cooking for him, and being there for him whenever he needs something. But it doesn't do the same for you. Don't waste your time and feelings on someone who treats you like an option and not a priority. Now, babe, I know you are tempted to leak private information, but you have to remember that doing so can have serious consequences. That is for both of you. See, babe, I know this is going to be difficult to do, but I want you to let him go. Let him go. Don't do anything to him. Karma will deal with him. Just let him go. Walk away with your dignity intact. Focus on yourself and put all your energy back into yourself. You deserve better than what he offered you. And trust me, you are going to get over him and you are going to get someone better. Don't waste your time and energy on him anymore. Move on, babe. I'm wishing you all the best. And now, if you have any advice for the sender, write story number 4 and leave your advice and opinions. She's going to be in the comment sections reading them. Abi, you know that our anthem. This is a judgment-free zone. We listen, we don't judge. So please be kind to them in the comment sections. Obviously, these issues are worrying them. That is why they've sent me the stories in the first place. So please be kind. And if you've not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for, babe? Subscribe and like this video. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so that when I post, you'll be notified immediately. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time. Okay, I'm done. Bye.